Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here at Metro East Community Media. And don't forget, if you want to get in on the conversation with our guests here, you can go to our blog, or you can like us on Facebook and be part of the action. Now tonight, this is kind of arts night here in Gresham. We just spoke with the ladies from Gresham Art Walk, and now we're going to be talking with people from the theater world. We have with us tonight Kelly Lazenby, who's from the Nuts and Bolts Theater, and is a guest performer on the Sandy Actor Readers Theater, which is what Tim Park is part of. Yes. So welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you here. So this is kind of a interesting thing. You have the Sandy Actor Readers Theater, and you've been on before, but you are with Nuts and Bolts, so you're just doing a little guest performance there. Is that it? Mm-hmm. That's great. So you guys you're not just competing with each other.
Of course not.
No. I bet there's a lot of support between actors in this community, is there?
There is, especially.
Well, the last two shows I've been in were at Nuts and Bolts.
Right? Yeah. Well, then, yeah, so I guess there's a lot of crossover there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tim, maybe you could start out by telling me a little bit about the Sandy Actor Readers Theater. And there's not just the Actor Readers Theater, there's the Sandy Actors Theater. So
and
explain how that all
the
works.
Readers Theater is a program of Sandy Actors
so explain
Theater.
that. Explain how that works.
Well, Sandy Actors Theater has been in existence since 1976, and it has a regular theater in Sandy where we do full productions. But a few months ago, people from Gresham came to Tobias Anderson, who was in charge of Mount Hood Rep, and said that, now that Mount Hood Rep is not able to be around, could we at least have Readers Theater here in Gresham? And Tobias said, well, he couldn't do it because of his many commitments. Mm-hmm. He said, why don't you go talk to Sandy Actors Theater? And those of us on the board, some of us at least, had talked about doing Readers Theater. And when they came to us, it was like, well, let's take the opportunity.
Yeah,
so that was in November, and we started in February, so it was a pretty quick
turnaround in getting that going.
Yes, and it's been very successful. We've had 2 performances so far. One in February and one in March. We do it the 3rd Thursday of every month. Excuse me, the 3rd Monday of every month at the Gresham Historical Museum right downtown in Gresham. And we had 1,000 clowns for the first performance. We had planned on 50. We ended up with 91 people coming. Wow. We had to bring in chairs from wherever we could scrounge them up in the last 10 minutes. And we had about 80 people at our last show, which was Daughters, which was put on by Dustin Milberg, who is the artistic director of Public House Theater in Portland. And that was a great show.
Yes, yes. Wow. So Tobias, I know him and Kelly, you were Mount Hood Rep Theater. I mean, that was Tobias and you and Justin. I mean, you were pretty much in charge of that.
It was kind of an institution in Gresham in the summertime for a while. Yeah.
Very, very sorry to see that.
But that's okay. That's why theater is so great, because especially here in the East County area, we are all kind of like a big family.
Yes.
I mean, everyone calls upon each other if they need something, or if they need an actor, or we all sort of know each other. It is kind of like a small community.
So knowing that the one has gone away, there's other opportunities that have come up.
Of course.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, and you've been involved with Nuts and Bolts.
Yes. My husband and I, we have Nuts and Bolts. It's our hobby, but it's also our business sometimes. And we have been around since about 2005. We perform out at the boring Damascus Grange Hall. Strange as it sounds, it's a nice big old over 100-year-old building, and we do regular productions, and we also do children's theater productions, and we have a couple of camps during the year for kids as well.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super. So you're involved now with Sandy Actors Theater also.
Tim, yes, when they started doing their Readers Theater program, of course, Tobias told me that this was being revived, and I was, of course, all for it, because I think that there always needs to be more theater everywhere. And so when Tim was in a show that we were in together, and he mentioned that they were doing Readers Theater, and so we asked if Justin and I could be involved, and so, of course, this was something that doesn't require quite as much time commitment as a regular full production, so we were able to take part of it, so we were happy.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell me about, I've got a list of some of the things you have going on. Right now there's the 4-poster, and that is the Readers Theater, is that correct?
The Readers Theater that's coming up this Monday night.
This Monday night.
7 p.m.
Okay, and for those who are going to stick around here. We're going to get a sneak preview of that tonight, which I'm very much looking forward to. So we'll talk about that in a minute. The Curious Savage. Now, who's putting that one on?
That's Sandy Actors Theater.
So that's in Sandy.
That's a full production that's going on right now. We had opening weekend last weekend. It is a wonderful play.
What's it about?
It's about an elderly lady that inherits all of her husband's fortune. She decides that she wants to give it away to what she considers are noble causes, but only in her mind. Her stepchildren don't quite agree with that, and they decide she needs to be put in a mental, at the time it was called a sanatorium.
Right.
Because this was back in the late 40s. And there are people in the sanatorium that are sort of normal, but they have their little quirks.
Yeah, their little eccentricities.
Yeah, that come out, and it becomes a story of who really is the sane people in the world, who are the sane people in the world. And the stepchildren are obviously very selfish and end up doing some pretty silly things to try to get at the money. And the people in the sanatorium sort of teach Mrs. Savage a little bit about what really matters in life, and she comes out.
And don't give it all away.
Okay.
But yeah, but I mean that's a great storyline.
It is.
Yeah, I bet that would be
it's
fun.
a really
comedy
wonderful story. It's
Drama,
a comedy.
both?
It's very, very funny.
Yeah.
And in the paper yesterday, the caption was zany, but
zany.
Very compassionate, very moving at the same time.
Something you
It's
learn
got something. I really like it because it has so many parts to it. It's not just a comedy.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's not like a slapstick. It's got a lot of important messages maybe in there too.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit prejudiced because I'm in it too.
Yeah. I take it you're not Mrs. Savage though.
No, but I'm one of the crazy people.
And I'm sure you do it well, Tim. The other one I wanted to ask about was Wizard of Oz in the Wild West. Interesting name. Maybe you could tell me about that,
The
Kelly.
Wizard of Oz in the Wild West. Well, that is a nuts and bolts production, and that is going to be a children's theater production that we're going to be offering in June. And the children's theater that we do is the children perform, and the children learn pretty much all the aspects of theater. I mean, they're doing their own sound effects. They're working on some backstage things that they do themselves. They're going to learn their own makeup. They always learn how to dress each other as far as costume time. The kids always like lace each other up and learn how to button everything. And it's a basic Wizard of Oz story. I was sort of drawn to it because the premise is very, very cute. It's not like the movie Wizard of Oz, it's more like the Oz series of books.
The books, yeah.
And basically what happens is the Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion and the Scarecrow, of course, and at the very beginning are in Kansas, but it's Kansas of 100 years ago, so they're not where they're supposed to be.
In the Wild West.
They're in the Wild West, and in the course of the play, they do meet up with Annie Oakley, and they meet up with Wild Bill Hickok and Billy the Kid, and you know, it's very fun.
How old are these kids?
The youngest kid that I have in this particular production is 8.
Up till through high school, maybe?
About 15.
Oh, yeah?
So yeah,
okay.
There's 17 kids in the cast.
Great experience.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Should be fun.
And anything that Nuts and Bolts does is great.
And I wanted to reiterate that it's not a musical. It's just just a straight play.
Okay,
but
good.
It's very funny.
That sounds great. And that one is going on in June?
Yes, I believe June 3rd to the 12th.
Okay.
It's the first 2 weekends in June.
Good. Okay. Well, since we're going to be seeing a little excerpt here from the four-poster. You want to set that up and tell us a little bit about that?
Can I say another thing about Curious Savage before we
absolutely.
move on? Yeah. We just had our opening weekend, and Sandy is pretty unusual because its runs are 5 weeks long, which is really a long run for community theater. So we still have 4 more weekends.
Oh, wow. Okay,
and
so come out.
We would love to have people come out, and it is well worth
So that's going to run through May 7th?
Yes.
Okay, and is it downtown Sandy, as it were? Or
it's right, yes, it is. The theater is a little bit off of Highway 26. It's right behind Ace Hardware.
Okay.
So that's about as good an explanation as I can give.
Good. And is that a pretty big cast, or is it?
There's 10, I think. Okay. 10 or 11 of us. Yeah.
I bet you have fun, huh?
It's fun. It's pretty demanding.
I bet it is, yeah.
It's more demanding than I thought because I end up getting to do this crazy dance to the William Tell Overture, which really I'm not sure I signed up for, but I'm doing it.
I would like to see, Tim. We should have you come back sometime and just do your dance.
Oh, yeah,
there
right.
you go.
That would be hilarious. So what's your favorite part of being in these productions? What do you like? Is it like the opening night? Is it the practices? Is it when you're done afterwards? What?
Well, it's a creative, taps a creative desire in me that I work a normal 8 to 5 job.
I was going to ask you that if this was your.
I enjoy the job, but it doesn't tap the same
doesn't satisfy that
part
creative
of me.
part of your
Yes.
psyche or whatever.
And I love the whole aspect of being a part of a team.
Yeah.
And you really do feel
I
that.
bet you get pretty close to the people that you perform with and work with, don't you?
Get some really good relationships.
Yeah, get some good
and you end up
friendships.
working with people again and again.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it kind of helps if you get along, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think everyone does get along because everyone that performs, I think, shares that common, that common joy of working together.
Well, probably everybody loves performing, and you have that common goal of trying to make a production work, and so if you're not supportive of each other, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be very exciting. I used to do some of that in high school, as I'm performing in high school. I haven't done it since then, and it just always sounded like such
What do you
fun.
mean? What are you doing right now?
Yeah, well, okay. I guess it is in a way, huh?
There you go.
I'm sorry I got off the subject.
That's okay. Okay, so we were talking about the four-poster a little bit, and this is at the Gresham Historical Museum, and it's going to be April 18th, and so it's just one performance.
One performance at 7 p.m. And I could segue into that and tell you why I was drawn to choose this particular project.
Okay,
because
so you chose.
I did get it my choice pretty much.
Okay, then yeah, do tell me that. Yes.
But I really was drawn to it because it's about a husband and wife, and so I thought, well, I'm a husband and wife team too,
yes.
So you can find a lot of that same commonality. Yeah. The play is very, very well written. It was written in the 50s, but it takes place at the turn of the century in the 1890s through about 1918. So the very interesting thing about it is that you see this couple age in the play and the different problems that they encounter in their relationship. So it's very interesting.
A lot of this take part in their four-poster?
The entire play takes place in their bedroom, which is why it's called the four-poster.
The four-poster is the only witness to all that is going on.
So did you find somebody good to play your husband in this?
I did. I asked my husband if he was doing anything. No, of course. Yeah.
And it is your husband, Justin, who is
playing.
It is,
and that's one of the things that's so great
yeah.
about being able to do Nuts and Bolts is that we do get to spend that time together.
That's so fun.
We love
I love
it
that.
together.
Yeah. Well, you obviously have a lot of credibility when you're up there on the stage when it's the two of you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're about out of time on this segment. So coming up, we're going to be having you, Kelly, and your husband, Justin, performing for us part of the four-poster, and we're looking forward to that. So I'm going to tell our audience to please don't go away. You don't want to miss this. Thank you very much, Tim, for being on here. Hang with me, and we can watch this together. And don't go away. We're going to see here in just a few minutes, we're going to be seeing the Sandy Actor Readers Theater starring Kelly Lazenby and Justin Lazenby in part of the four-poster. Stick around.
Volunteers are the cornerstone of local communities, and they enjoy the satisfaction that comes from being part of something larger than themselves. Multnomah County invites citizens to participate in projects that benefit the greater good of our residents.
Help provide services to thousands of your neighbors. Sound impossible? 1,700 members of your community are already doing this, and so much more, by volunteering with Multnomah County Library.
Library volunteers help their neighbors by teaching computer skills, shelving materials, and promoting literacy in the community. The library provides a wide array of services, including lending popular books and DVDs, computer access, and life-enriching activities.
Give a neighbor a helping hand and spend a couple hours a week at the library, making your community a better place.
To find out more about this volunteer opportunity, visit their website. To explore other volunteer opportunities, contact the Office of Citizen Involvement. Shape your community.
Vienna Star was my guardian angel when my life was in shambles. They helped me find counseling and shelter.
Vienna Star is great. They helped us pay our utility bills.
And find health resources.
I'm in college now because Vienna Star helped me find scholarships so I could put myself through school.
Call 503-823-4000 to find out if Vienna Star can help you.
Gracias, Vienna Star.
This is the story about a group of kids who volunteered.
Doing something nice for someone.
We fixed stuff.
Did some art projects with the kids.
We fixed up his house.
We worked in the woods.
Cleaned up the park.
Did something for the planet.
We just did it.
No other reason. And you know what? It was great.
At first, they didn't know each other.
Well, that didn't last long.
This guy is really funny.
Me? These are my
new friends.
Are you into it?
Call 4-H or check out our website at areyouintoit.com.
When disaster strikes, emergency professionals may be overwhelmed. Can you care for yourself and loved ones until help arrives? Can you help neighbors amidst the chaos? Are you ready? Get ready. Join a community emergency response team and learn skills that will save lives. The City of Gresham offers free CERT training. Sign up for the next class and get ready.
What is it like to have a loved one die? Each month, over 300 children and teens who have experienced a death turn to the Dougie Center for Grieving Children. Inside, they find a safe place where they can share their experiences and move through the grieving process.
The programs at the Dougie Center are funded by private donations. Thank you for making it possible for kids like me to attend groups free of charge.
The Dougie Center, because grief comes in all sizes.
Act 2, Scene 2. 1908. It's between 4 a.m. and dawn. When the curtain rises, the door is opened brusquely, and he enters. He's wearing an overcoat over his pajamas, carrying a bourbon bottle and a riding crop. She is asleep in the four-poster.
Agnes! Agnes! Agnes, look at this.
What? What's the matter?
In his drawer, behind a pile of junk, this.
What?
He is 17, 18. Yeah, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And now this.
What? For heaven's sake.
Yeah, well, look.
Bourbon?
Your son. The result of your modern upbringing.
But what? Where? What does all this mean? What time is it?
It's time I took over his education.
He told you he would be late tonight. He especially asked permission to go to that dance. I gave him the key myself.
Where did you put that thing?
What thing?
My old shaving strop.
What do you want that for? Come back to bed.
So you approve of this? You think it's perfectly natural for a child to booze up in his bedroom and then paint the town until 4 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, darling, he told you. And surely the boy has the right to a bit of gaiety.
One day, let me explain the difference to you between gaiety and delirium tremens.
What are you going to do, Michael?
I'm going downstairs, where I've been since 1 o'clock this morning, and when he comes home, I'm going to give
I
him
won't let you! If you're going to beat that boy, you're going to have to do it over my dead body.
Don't interfere, Agnes.
I mean it, Michael. Whatever happens, even if he's taken to opium, I won't have you beating that child.
All right. In that case, we'd better call the police.
You knew he was coming in late. These parties go on until dawn.
Now, in my young days, if I was told to be in at a certain hour, What in the name of all of sanity do you have on your head?
No, it's the very latest thing. Everyone's wearing them.
But what is it?
A slumber helmet.
Slumber helmet? Bourbon in the bedroom, children's parties that go on till dawn, and slumber helmets. All right, I am going to bed.
Listen to me, will you?
I have the choice between bed and the madhouse. I prefer bed. I have a life to live. Good night. I hope you enjoy being a drunkard's mother.
I don't want to spoil your performance as an irate father, but I can't help thinking what your attitude would be if it were not Robert, but Lizzie, who stayed out late.
Exactly the same, with the difference that Lizzie would never do such a thing.
Ha!
Yeah, because she happens to be the only sane member of this family, except for me, of course.
I could tell you something about her, but that would... No, I better not.
If you think I'm going to fall for that Stone Age woman's trick of hinting at something and then stopping... That child is as straight and sensible as a glass of milk.
Milk!
Oh, well, at least she doesn't go to bed with a bottle of bourbon. What,
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing, nothing.
Agnes, you aren't by any chance suggesting that she goes to bed with anything else, are you?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just sick and tired of your coming down like a ton of bricks on that poor boy every time while she is allowed to do whatever she pleases.
So, I have an unhealthy preference for my daughter, is that it?
I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, no, all right. Say it. Say it.
What?
Oedipus. Oh. Yeah. Oh, leave me alone.
In his drawer, did you say?
Shut up.
Darling, I know you never concern yourself with the children's education except for an occasional bout of fatherly hysteria, but I think that this time you're going a little too far, if you don't mind me saying so.
What else do you want me to do? I have to spend every waking hour earning money. Agnes, you are my second in command. And I leave certain things to you, but if I see that they're obviously going wrong, it is my duty to intervene.
If that is your conception of our relationship, then you ought to think of something better than a shaving crop and a riding strop.
Riding crop. And it's not a matter of thinking of something better. It's simply...
Michael!
Is that him?
I think I hear the gate.
Robert? Is that you, Robert? No.
Why don't you go back to bed?
Because I'm worried.
Why, that's nonsense.
And so are you.
What on earth gives you that idea?
That you're powdering your face at 4 o'clock in the morning.
What drawer was it?
It's the one where he keeps all of his junk.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it's true.
Well, there you are.
How did you find it?
I was sitting downstairs waiting, and I got more and more worried, so I decided to go up to his room and see whether perhaps he had climbed in through the window. And then I happened to glance into an open drawer, and there it was.
It isn't possible. A child can't be drinking on the sly without his mother knowing of it.
You'll have to face it, my dear. He's no longer a child. When I looked into that drawer and found his old teddy bear and his steam engine, and then this bottle, I can't even tell you what I felt.
Suppose. Of course it isn't, but suppose it is true. Whatever will we do?
I don't know. See a doctor?
Nonsense. It's perfectly natural childish curiosity. A boy has to try everything once.
If that's going to be your attitude, he'll end up trying murder once. By the way, what were you going to say about Lizzie?
She's in love.
What?
She's secretly engaged.
To whom?
The boy next door.
To that ape? To that pie face?
Oh, I think it's quite serious.
The child is only... Oh, yeah. Nonsense.
She is not a child anymore. She's, well, the same thing Robert is, I suppose. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these days that boy came to see you and asked for her hand.
If he does, I'll shoot him.
Oh, but darling...
No, but she is only 16, Agnes. This is a nightmare.
But sweetheart...
No, she can't be in love. Certainly not with that.
Why not?
After spending her whole life with me, she can't fall in love with something hatched out of an egg.
Are you suggesting the only person the child will be allowed to fall in love with is a young edition of yourself?
Of course not. Don't be indecent. Well, what I mean to say is that, well, at least we should have given her some taste. You know, they should both have inherited our taste.
Well, he seems to have inherited a taste for bourbon.
I don't understand how you can joke at a time like this. This happens to be the worst night of my life.
I'm not joking, darling. I just don't think there's much point in us sitting up all night worrying ourselves sick about something we obviously can't do anything about until the morning. Now come and go back to bed.
You go to bed. I'll wait up for him.
Shall I make you a cup of tea?
Tea? You know, we haven't had a single crisis in our life yet for which your ultimate solution wasn't a cup of tea.
Well, I'm sorry. I was only trying to be sensible about it.
No, I know you are. I apologize if I've said things that I didn't mean. I think what we both need is a swig of this. We got any glasses up here?
Only the tooth glasses. Michael! Michael?
What is that?
Cod liver oil.
Oh.
How on earth did it get in this bottle?
God knows. Agnes, I think that little monster was trying to set a trap for me.
Michael, oh, wait a minute. I know. Well, this is the limit.
What?
Do you remember 3 years ago when he had to take that spoonful of cod liver oil every night and he wouldn't take it in my presence? Well, of course I measured the bottle every morning, but he must have poured it into this.
Agnes, do you mean to say that the stuff I just swallowed is 3 years old?
That little monkey. Oh, now I am going to wait up until he gets home.
I think perhaps we better call a doctor. This stuff may be putrid.
Oh, you're going to have to speak to him, Michael. This is one time that you're going to have to speak to him. Michael. Michael, there he is. Oh, Michael, no, not the riding crop.
Yeah, 3-year-old cod liver oil?
Oh, don't go that far. Well, what did you say?
Beg your pardon?
What did you say to him?
Oh, good evening.
Is that all?
Yes.
Well, I must say, to go through all this rigmarole and then end up with... I honestly think you could have said a little more.
I couldn't.
Why not?
He was wearing a top hat.
Oh, darling, come here.
that was absolutely terrific. I loved it. Kelly, Justin, Lazenby, they were wonderful. And before I go home and put on my slumber helmet tonight, I'm going to I want to encourage everybody to go watch the production of the four-poster. That was super. Wasn't that great?
It's a good show, a great show. It won a Tony Award back in the 50s. And every scene in it is something special. Like
it made me laugh, and then at the very end I was all choked up.
Yes,
it was great. It was
it's
great.
35 years of this couple's marriage.
That's wonderful. That was wonderful. So just to wrap up, we have the four-poster, April 18th, and this is at the Gresham Historical Museum, 410 North Main Street, and that's at 7 p.m. Yes. Tickets in advance or just at the door?
At the door.
At the door. Okay, great. And also, don't forget The Curious Savage, which is playing at the Sandy Actors Theater in Sandy until May 7th. And then also Nuts and Bolts has Wizard of Oz in the Wild West, which will be June 3rd through 12th. That's pretty much it. That's awesome. That's great. So if people are interested in commenting on all the arts that are going on in East County, if they want to talk about the theater performances, anything like that, they can go to our blog, Community Hotline blog, and comment there. People are interested in continuing the conversation, and also if people are interested in just getting to say hi to us here at Community Hotline, they can go to our Facebook page. So for you out there watching, do go to our Facebook page, say hello to us, like us, and while you're there, we have contests. We all have all sorts of fun things going on. Now, one of the things we did recently was we had a contest. This is actually Volunteer Week, and we had a contest for people to send in what they thought were some of their favorite volunteer experiences. So I think we have a shot of us picking out of the hat. We had it was a tense moment, but we had to pick out of the hat a random drawing from the people that entered to say what their favorite volunteer experience was. And I'm very happy to say that our winner this year was Wee. Wee is from the Portland Toy Drive. He was actually on the show here. He was one of our guests. He was a very fun guest, and his favorite memory was when he was on the show, and it was the end of the show, and we didn't tell him he was still on camera, and he jumped up and threw his arms up in the air, and we had a great time. He wasn't supposed to be doing that, but it was fun. So congratulations, Wee. You're going to get a free Metro East t-shirt from Community Hotline, and we'll have more contests and games and all sorts of things going on. So be sure to go to our Facebook page, and don't go away. We'll be back next week. Make sure you come and watch. Next week we are going to talk with different organizations in the area. We have the West Columbia Gorge Chamber of Commerce. They're going to be talking with somebody from FedEx who's talking about all the job openings and things we have going on in this area. Also, the Gresham Chamber of Commerce talking about their new member fair, as well as the Gresham Senior Center talking about their Mother's Day tea. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. We've really enjoyed having the Sandy Actors Readers Theater on here tonight. Thanks for joining us. My name is Monica Weitzel. We'll see you next week. Remember, you can take part in the discussion online. Visit our blog and tell us about your experiences at communityhotline.wordpress.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Facebook page, too. You can see what's going on behind the scenes, find out about fun contests we're running, and link to some of the great organizations that have been on at facebook.com/communityhotline Metro East. See you online.
Katie won't be at ballet. She's sick today. No, Katie won't be at ballet. She's sick today. No, Katie won't be at ballet. She's sick today.
When your child gets sick with the usual illnesses an unusual number of times, look for a pattern.
She's sick today.
It could be an immune deficiency called PI. Get the warning signs.
If you are experiencing physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, help is available.
I'm scared. He's been beating on me.
If you need help, or if you want to help stop domestic abuse, call our crisis line at 503-281-2442. You don't have to be alone. Make a call that could save your life. Bradley Engel House, providing hope and safety for more than 30 years.